you the victim of a bad video game purchase? Do you want justice to be served? You deserve a lawyer who takes your case seriously. And I'm serious when I say I'll hound him and pound him until you get what's rightfully yours. Hi, I'm Dick with Dick Law Firm, and I'll fight long and hard for you. But expect serious results, fast. I gotta be honest with you. Over the years, I've stood up firm for thousands of clients to help win their cases. Not hundreds, thousands. That takes hard-earned experience, serious experience. I'm Dick, and I won't hang around for injustice. Every gamer on God's green earth has rights. You have rights, serious rights. When shitty games slap you in the face, I slap back for you. When bad games have you down, look me up! I'll rise to great heights to get you what you deserve. I'm Dick with Dick Law Firm, and I'll stand firm for you. Seriously!
Call 1-800-244-FIRM. Operators are standing by.
Good hunting, Scott.
Welcome to Bunkers and Badasses, Tiny Tina's version of Dungeons & Dragons, where she is your dungeon master. That's right, Borderlands meets D&D, guys. Or does it? Yeah, it doesn't. There's almost nothing in the game that creates any kind of genuine D&D experience outside of some storyline cutscenes, which in particular are about as exciting to watch as washing dog shit off the bottom of your shoes. Now, before I tear this game apart, there are a few things I want to cover that Tiny Tina's Wonderland does introduce that I did like. Unlike any other previous Borderlands, you get some cool character creation where you get to build your character from the ground up by picking between 6 different classes that in turn come with their own special spells and abilities. And this comes along with a couple skill trees with perks and attributes to invest in as you level up in the game. It's all cool shit that I had a lot of fun with, but while that is new to Borderlands, it's also not new if you've ever played any action RPG game. And most importantly, it does nothing to make it play, look, or feel like D&D in any kind of way. Sure, there's floating 20-sided die that you can find hidden throughout the world, but they only serve as loot chests. And the newly added overworld, which is basically the open world you get to traverse through from an isometric perspective, felt completely tacked on, looked horrible, and it was only annoying to play through. And look, I didn't go into this thinking it wasn't going to be a Borderlands game, but the missed opportunity here to actually create any kind of authentic Dungeons & Dragons experience was a major disappointment. This isn't just some Tiny Tina's DLC, which it should be, honestly. It's a full 16+ hour campaign based on her version of a D&D campaign. So why couldn't the in-game perk tree or attribute menus look like real D&D character sheets? Why couldn't they have added in dice rolling here and there that actually shaped circumstances, random encounters, or certain outcomes that could benefit or punish you? Why couldn't the characters you get to choose from be more faithful to traditional D&D races? And why couldn't your in-game relationship with Tiny Tina be more dynamic and interactive, since she's your DM? Any mix of those D&D elements getting implemented here would have made this a way cooler RPG experience, and frankly, are low-hanging fruit that hurt the game more for not having it. So do not get baited by its gimmicky bunkers and badasses bullshit. You're not going to find any real D&D experiences here gameplay-wise. And with that out of the way, how does it actually play as a Borderlands game? And unfortunately, it doesn't get any better from here, guys. Firstly, the looting is the worst I've experienced in the franchise. The frequency at which the game bombards you with loot is obnoxious, and 99% of it is just garbage that constantly filled up my inventory and forced me to either drop a bunch of shit to pick up things I wanted, or run back to vendors to sell it all. And the vendors rarely have any good gear to purchase as well, which for me made one of the game's core gameplay loops feel like a complete chore. The worst part is, I hardly ever picked up a new weapon that really boosted my gameplay. And they mastered this shit in previous Borderlands. Looting in 2 was fantastic, and 3 was damn near perfect when playing through the campaign. I have so many memorable weapons from 3 that were not only incredibly fun to use, but it made chasing loot and grinding for new gear super rewarding. Not once did I have a wow moment in this game when finding a new weapon, guys. Not a single time. Now, there is a heavy emphasis on spellcasting now that they're clearly going for, which is dope, by the way. I did really enjoy that aspect of the combat. I tried several different classes, which all have their own unique abilities and spells you can cast, and a lot of them have killer animations and are fresh and fun additions to the fighting. But it's at the cost of lackluster looting and a ton of weapons that just aren't exciting to use. And that includes melee weapons, which have a much bigger presence here as well. They feel weak, and depending on your build, can end up being some of your highest damage dealing weapons to use. And who wants a powerful weapon that feels weak? Progression is also whack in the game. You are punished for progressing in the main story without also doing side quests. And this shit almost had me quit the game, yo. For real, if you just do main missions, you'll quickly become underleveled to the point that every enemy you encounter will be a complete bullet sponge. And the solution? Side quests. And not good side quests either. At one point, I was around 7 levels under the recommended power level, and my buddies and I literally couldn't do any damage. So, what did we have to do? We had to go help a local NPC kill some spiders on their farm, and instantly gained well over 3 times the amount of XP compared to the main quest we had just finished. It's complete trash, guys. They're called side quests for a reason. And it's total bullshit that the game will literally force you to stop playing the main story just to,
oh, you gotta go kill the bad spiders from the farm, get your magical XP boost.
It's bullshit, guys. And although previous games have had a little bit of this issue, here you simply become underleveled way too fast, and the bad side quests just make it a painful grind to get back to the main story. And there it is, guys. The only other good thing I can say about it is that I did like the level design. There are a bunch of different biomes that are cool, and there's some killer set pieces you get to play in, but honestly, so what? And the combat and progression and lack of real D&D issues aren't the only problems. There's also constantly way too much shit on your screen. The AI is horribly dumb. And the only boss fight that was actually good was the last fight in the game. So whether you're hoping for a fresh take on a Borderlands experience, or at least the tried and true gameplay elements the franchise has built its legacy on, unfortunately, I found both to be seriously shitty here. I'm giving gameplay 2 out of 5 stars. Graphics are next, and this was really the only aspect of the game that met and even exceeded my expectations. It's a beautiful game, guys, and they've taken its artistic and franchise-defining aesthetic to a cool place where it still captures the vibe of the originals, but now has decent textures, excellent lighting, and impressive shader and post-processing effects. I am always going to be sad that NVIDIA physics are no longer implemented in new Borderlands games. It's a major visual downgrade that truly made Borderlands 2 a special experience graphically, and I just know it would look incredible here. We'll likely never see that again since Gearbox is partnered with AMD now, but but damn it, that would be amazing. Outside of that, I don't have any big complaints. It's a gorgeous game. I'm giving graphics 4 out of 5 stars. Audio's up next, and this was, well, it was just weird, guys. Most of the in-game music is made up of really quiet and subdued tracks that are set way back in the mix. And they probably went with this approach to allow all the NPC talking in the game to cut through, which has its own issues that I'll get to, but they really didn't capture the right experience here at all. What should have been dynamic and exciting at times was soothing. When it should have been dark and mysterious, it was soothing. And when it was dangerous and violent, it sounded soothing. It was all soothing music, guys, and totally killed the vibe a lot of the time. It was so soft in the mix as well that sometimes I didn't even think there was music playing, and coming from 3, which had some of the best music in the franchise, this was really disappointing. I also think the sound effects could have really been better, particularly the melee weapons, but I have to cover my other big issue here, which is the NPC talking in the game. Now, I'll start by saying that the actual voice acting, that's all really well done. The problem is the amount of talking in the game. It's infuriating how often and for how long random NPCs, Tiny Tina, and the other bunkers and badasses NPCs will talk and have conversations. Before, during, after fights, while you're exploring, during a boss fight. It's all the frickin' time, guys. By hour 3 in the game, I couldn't even listen to it anymore. I don't know what the actual matters so much that there needs to be so much dialogue in this game, but it's 90% garbage. I'm giving audio 2 out of 5 stars. Let's hit the story next, and I don't know, guys. There's a diamond unicorn named Queen Butt Stallion you have to save. There's an evil protagonist that I honestly ended up liking way more than Tiny Tina or any of the other characters. It has some plot twists and big reveals that do shape the characters all right, but at no point did I really give a shit. In fact, with how annoying certain characters were and how often they blabbered on, and with how poorly the story played out gameplay-wise, I honestly gave up on caring about what was happening in the game until the very end. And I didn't miss anything. I got every damn thing I needed to know. The setup in the beginning, all the bullshit in between, and the conclusion. The problem is, it failed to draw me in completely. It does have some good laughs here and there, which were definitely some needed comic relief. Right when I started thinking it wasn't funny or I'd start getting pissed at the game, it would make me laugh or smile, so it does still have that Borderlands charm, which was nice. But that alone couldn't save the story for me, and I can't not mention it again, guys. If they would have incorporated some sort of engaging D&D elements here that connected its story and gameplay, it would have benefited them both greatly and made a far more unique and cool experience. So, I'm giving story 2 out of 5 stars. Settings are up, and we're starting with key rebindability, which was perfect. WASD, ESDF, and mouse and numpad can all get rebound to your liking. Video and graphics are next, and video-wise, there's no ultra widescreen support, but I didn't see anything else missing here, so that was all good. Graphics, on the other hand, are superb. You get a ton of options to tweak the game for either performance or quality, and they even included a benchmark tool, which I always love to see. Audio's up next, and this was great. You get all the dials you need to make the mix that you want. And lastly are the gameplay options, which were okay. You do get difficulty and tutorial settings, which is expected, but there's no colorblind modes, and there's very little options to customize your HUD, which was unfortunate. So a couple misses, but overall, the game gives you a great list of options. I'm giving settings 4 out of 5 stars. Let's give it a final score, guys, and Tiny Tina's Wonderland really struggles. It wants to deliver an original Borderlands experience, but doesn't lean into its new ideas enough or take enough risks. It wants to evolve and shake up the format, but without really committing to it, it ended up making one of the worst Borderlands experiences I've ever had. I'm giving Tiny Tina's Wonderland 2 out of 5 stars. Skip this one, guys. It's not worth your time or your money, even on sale in my opinion, and I hate to say that. I was really hoping that this was going to be cooler, and if they do continue to expand on this spin-off series, I really hope they push the envelope farther. I still think a D&D Borderlands fusion would be a killer game. Thanks for joining me today, guys. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe and bell button below. Give me a like if you enjoyed the review, and there's going to be a Patreon link right here in just a second if you'd like to support the channel. I really need your support, guys, to help keep the channel going and growing, so do check that out if you haven't already. Special thanks to all my patrons, and I will see you on the next Gurhm's Garage. Peace.